Welcome to Shamu and you exploring the world of reptiles. Let's start off with Shamu asking you, what would your world be like if you were a reptile?
I wish I were a bird. I'd be a fish.
I'd like to be a reptile.
I'd like to be a mammal. What do you want to be?
If you were young but not a child. If you were at home living in the wild. If you were something other than you are. Just imagine, just pretend, just what your world would be. If you were over 10 feet tall. If you would stop traffic at the mall. If you were something other than you are. Just imagine, just pretend, just what your world would be. If you,
Who, me? Yeah, you. That's who.
just imagine, just pretend. Just imagine, just pretend, if you were a reptile.
They look like something from a horror movie. They conjure up nightmares of prehistoric monsters. And you know all they want to do is bite you. Or just crawl on you. They're the reptiles. And while most of the time they've usually been the hunted instead of the hunter, they have lived on our planet millions of years. Because reptiles are hatched to survive.
If I was an alligator, I would live in a swamp, and every time I see an animal, I would eat it. If I see a rock, and I would leave it alone.
If I was a marine iguana, I'm a reptile, and I would be able to go on land or in water.
If I was a boa constrictor, I'll slide around the sand. I don't even know what a reptile is.
Now presenting the reptile.
That's a bird, not a reptile.
Gotta love 'em, the reptile.
Kangaroos aren't reptiles, they're mammals.
Here he is, the reptile.
A fish is a fish, not a reptile.
Is there a reptile in the house?
Yes, there is. That's a reptile. At one time, reptiles ruled the earth. But today, all that are left are snakes, turtles, crocodilians, lizards, and a strange reptile that few of us have ever heard of, the tuatara. They may be smaller in number, but today's reptiles have survived when other animals have disappeared forever.
Reptile champion.
If you were a python, you'd be the world's biggest snake. You could weigh as much as 400 pounds. And you'd stretch out 30 feet. Now that's one long snake. If you were the world's biggest lizard, you'd be the Komodo dragon. But do you know what reptiles are best at doing? Reptiles are champions at living to a ripe old age. Some say that crocodilians can live 50 years. Others say that the strange little tuatara can live over 100 years. But the all-time champ is the tortoise. One tortoise was said to be well over 175 years old. That may be more legend than fact. But reptiles really are hatched to survive. What's the difference between a tortoise and a turtle? Well, a turtle can live a lot of its life swimming in water. And a tortoise is really a turtle that spends most of its time crawling along the land. That's a fascinating fact. If you could be a reptile, what reptile would you want to be?
Python, because it eats weird things. It eats rabbits, and it eats all kinds of things that we wouldn't really like to eat.
Pythons are the world's largest snakes. They live in the jungles of Africa and Southeast Asia. Pythons can reach lengths of over 30 feet. That makes the python just a nose and a flick of the tongue longer than its South American cousin, the anaconda. Pythons and anacondas both hunt in much the same way. They can climb trees in no time at all, then wait patiently in ambush. But they don't always have to wait for their meals. These huge snakes are also very good swimmers. And they move pretty fast on land as well. If you were a python, how would you catch your food?
I'll just get it and I'll bite it and then I'll wrap around the neck. I'll wrap it around the neck and squeeze it.
Well, a python doesn't really strangle its prey around the neck. Once it wraps around something, the snake's grip simply tightens and tightens. And every time its victim takes a breath, that grip gets a little tighter. Until there's no more room to breathe. Then the python takes a leisurely meal. A long leisurely meal. Since snakes have to swallow their food whole, this one only has a bird to gulp down. But some stories tell of pythons swallowing up an animal as large as a leopard. What if there was a race between reptiles? Who do you think would win the crown for speed champion? Snakes can move fast in water or on land. And lizards can certainly scamper along quickly. And what about the slow turtle? Remember what happened when his cousin the tortoise raced the hare? Who'll be the fastest reptile? Let's find out. And they're off. I said, they're off. The snake crawls out fast, but hot on his very long tail is the lizard. Some lizards can run as fast as 18 miles per hour. Sounds like a winner. But what about the turtle? The turtle's going to need a miracle to win this race. Wait a minute. The snake is stopping to bask in the sun. Now, the lizard's pulled over to chase a meal. That means the turtle can win. The turtle can be champion. The turtle is asleep. We'll keep you posted on the progress of this exciting race, if anyone ever moves again. If you were a reptile, you probably wouldn't move much either. That's because reptiles are cold-blooded. That means a reptile's body temperature is as warm or as cold as the air around it. If you were a reptile, you wouldn't have fur or feathers to keep you warm. So, you'd lay in the sun to heat up your body. Not a bad way to catch some rays. And if you get too hot, no problem. You'd just find some shade to cool down. Being a reptile would be great if you'd like to lie around and not do anything. You wouldn't even have to eat. some reptiles can go months and months without eating. Of course, if you don't move much, you could be a sitting duck for a hungry passerby. So reptiles use camouflage to protect them. Camouflage helps reptiles blend in with their background, so predators have a hard time spotting them. It's just another way that reptiles are hatched to survive.
Strangest reptiles.
Actually, which reptiles aren't strange? They all seem a little weird.
If I was a turtle, I'll find food every day and I'll crawl along the seashore. And sometimes I'll look in the water and wet my feet.
Okay, let's start with the most normal-looking reptile, the turtle. That is, if you consider carrying your house on your back wherever you go as being normal. At least there's something familiar and reassuring about turtles. Maybe we'd better look again. Not all turtles are mild-mannered. A snapping turtle will take a bite out of anything it can get its beak on. Some turtles are downright bizarre, like this Mata Mata turtle. It looks like some submerged monster that just gulps down its meal.
If I was a lizard and someone tried to get me, I'd run away from them, and I'd slip through all kinds of holes so they can't find me.
Lizards are almost always strange, and some lizards have a very strange way of protecting themselves. If a predator grabs one of these lizards by the tail, the lizard's tail actually pulls apart, letting the lizard get away, while its missing tail confuses the predator.
If I was a snake, I would be really soft, and I could eat all kinds of things, like lizards and all that.
Snakes are reptiles that don't have legs. And if that's not odd enough, snakes have a very peculiar way of eating. Snakes have jaws that can stretch incredibly wide enough to swallow whole a meal that's even bigger than the snake. Imagine if you had a mouth with rubber bands attached to it, and then you swallowed an ostrich egg. That'll give you a good idea of how you'd eat if you were a snake. That's strange. At special times, on empty beaches like this, a sea turtle crawls out of the ocean to lay her eggs. When she's finished, the turtle returns to the sea. The sea turtle will have nothing more to do with her eggs. Motherhood is over for her. A sea turtle may lay as many as 2,000 eggs in her life. But out of all those eggs, only an average of 3 will live to become adults. But those hatchlings lucky enough to survive will grow to become one of the largest and most graceful reptiles of them all. Sea turtles are different than most other turtles, and here's one obvious difference. Sea turtles have flippers instead of legs, and that's helpful because sea turtles spend most all of their lives in the open oceans. If you were a sea turtle, you could speed along in the water at up to 20 miles per hour, flapping your powerful flippers like wings. If you were a green sea turtle, you'd also have to eat a lot of vegetables, even algae, because vegetation would be your main diet. But you could eat all the food you wanted, because if you were a green sea turtle, you could weigh as much as 800 pounds. If you were a reptile, you could do all kinds of things with your tongue. You might think that snakes use their tongues just to make themselves look scary. What do reptiles do with their tongues?
To tickle people, a reptile does this to catch a fly.
Some reptiles really can use their tongues to grab a meal. And snakes stick their tongues out to smell, like you use your nose. Gecko lizards have a really strange way of using their tongues. Geckos use their tongues like windshield wipers for their eyeballs. You've seen lizards, and you've seen snakes. But have you ever seen this? It's not a snake. That's actually a lizard without legs. Only a few families of legless lizards exist in the world. These lizards don't need legs anymore because, as far as they're concerned, they've found their own best way of getting around. That's a fascinating...
We interrupt our program to bring you this latest update on our incredible reptile race.
Since we last checked on our 3 competitors, not one of our racers has advanced 1 inch. However, earlier the lizard did move. Let's go to instant replay and catch the action. And there goes the lizard, racing backward, not forward, but we'll keep you posted with up-to-the-minute reports on this exciting...
Reptile race.
There are different types of turtles, lizards, and even snakes. But there's only one tuatara. Tuataras look like lizards, but they're actually the sole surviving member of a family of ancient reptiles called beakheads. All the other beakhead reptiles died out millions of years ago. Today, only tuataras remain. Tuataras are very rare. They're only found on certain islands off the coast of New Zealand. They may look ferocious, but tuataras only reach lengths of about 2 feet. Tuataras got their name from the native people of New Zealand. The word tuatara means poison carrier. But it's a name the little tuatara doesn't deserve. Tuataras are not venomous at all. They're harmless. While other mightier beasts have passed on, tuataras remain, the last of their kind, living fossils from the days of the dinosaur. When a bunch of cows come together, we call them a herd of cattle. And when birds fly together, it's called a flock of birds. When cheetahs gather, we could call them a leap of cheetahs. When crows get together, it's a murder of crows. There's lots of fun names we have for animals when they gather together.
But don't try to haggle with a gaggle of geese.
Gaggle of geese.
Inside a pride of lions, you better whisper, please.
You mean it?
Shh, not so loud. There are slithering snakes and a bevy of bucks, and in a pond, a paddling of ducks.
Family name.
Like a cool school of fish.
Family name.
That's fun. Let's do another one.
Okay, listen to this now. Nothing could be louder than a clouder of cats.
clowner of cats.
When charming a basket of cobra, don't play flat.
You're joking.
A bale of turtles, a covey of quail in the ocean, a pod of whales.
Family name.
Would you believe a lounging of lizards?
Family name.
I tried.
On the animals heaven.
That's right. What do you call a lot of starlings?
Reverberation.
And a shoal of bass is good for a...
Flag.
Good. And a flittering flock of feathery birds?
Dissimulation.
And rhinos? Family names.
A shrewdness of apes.
Family names.
Gang of elk.
Family names.
A tooth the kangaroo.
Family names.
More fun than a barrel of monkeys.
Family names.
A parliament of owls, old chap.
Family names.
A kindle of seals.
Family names.
A sloth. A bears.
Boy, there sure is a lot of them.
Family names.
Meet the quick draw of the lizard world. We know that the chameleon has the ability to change color. But chameleons also have a very sticky way of snaring a tasty meal. If you were a chameleon, you might look like some sort of prehistoric monster. With their strange, turret-like eyes, chameleons can see in 2 different directions at once. So a chameleon can see what's going on in front of and behind it, both at the same time. If you were a chameleon, you wouldn't exactly be considered a great beauty. But you'd be one of the most amazing reptiles of all.
Dangerous reptiles.
Even as babies, reptiles don't seem cuddly like other animals. Reptiles seem dangerous. What dangerous reptile would you want to be?
If I was an alligator, I'd swallow rocks to keep me down into the water, and I'd only have my eyes peeking up above the water so I can attack different animals.
Some of the most dangerous reptiles are crocodilians. Whether they're alligators or crocodiles, they seem to wait patiently in the water for something to make just one wrong step. The American alligator can grow over 15 feet long. Alligators usually live in the subtropics, but there are stories of alligators once being found as far north as Oklahoma. But somehow it's the snake that makes us most uneasy. You don't hear them coming, you don't know they're there until it's too late. Some snakes even use the tip of their tails as a lure to entice their prey to come closer. But these aren't the most dangerous snakes.
If I was a rattlesnake and somebody tried to get my babies, I would waggle my tail, then the enemy would go away.
Even their names sound dangerous. The rattlesnake, the sidewinder, the death adder, the cobra. Rattlesnakes can strike at speeds of up to 10 feet per second. The amazing sidewinder is a relative of the rattlesnake. Sidewinders really do travel sideways over the desert sands. The tracks they make have their own special beauty. But the venom of the sidewinder can be as deadly as a rattlesnake's. Luckily, reptiles aren't always ferocious. And even the most dangerous still prefer to avoid a fight and go peacefully on their way. One thing about reptiles, they are not workaholics. In fact, Not much seems to interest a reptile, unless it happens to be a meal. When it comes to eating, reptiles always seem to have room for one more bite. For many years, there were stories told in Indonesia of giant lizards that ruled over a small, uninhabited island called Komodo. When the island was finally explored, they discovered that the stories were true. What the explorers found was the Komodo dragon, the largest lizard in the world, and maybe the largest land lizard of all time. Komodo dragons can reach lengths of over 10 feet. These dragons of Komodo can live under rocks or in caves. Each day, they come out to hunt or scavenge for their food. They are voracious eaters that can swallow a monkey whole. Imagine, just 80 years ago, the Komodo dragon was thought to be nothing more than superstitious legend. If it took so long to discover this largest of all lizards, who knows? Just maybe there are other mysterious creatures out there, just waiting to be discovered. The world has so many animals. Mammals, birds, reptiles, and fish. Don't you wish sometimes you could be just part of any other animal? If you could, what part animal would you want to be?
I know. Half mermaid and half seal. I have the head of an alligator, the body of a rabbit, the face of a dog, the ears of a cat,
Some legs of a lion and a stomach of a monkey.
have arms like a kangaroo, a cheetah's body, and an elephant feet.
Would you look ferocious, so precocious if you part two and part cat? Whiskers, paws, and the lion's claws. I'm trying to imagine that. Would your family complain if you had the mane? Would you roar or purr when you sat? You'd be feline fine, you live 9 times if you part two and part cat. Would you look strange if you got rearranged? If you part two and part ape? Arms to knees at home in the trees, from Serengeti to the Cape. Possibilities expand with feet like hands and face that's changing shape. I have the hunches, bananas for lunch. If you part two and part ape. It's the feathers, the stripes, the spots, and the specks. You got the nose, he got the trunk. Fins, gills, beaks, and bills. The web, the wing, and the rump. Would you look troubled in a tub full of bubbles if you part two and part whaling? We try not to stare when you come up for air. Don't rock the boat or we have to bail. For a snack, of course, we'll throw you a morsel to catch you. The day was on sale. Your feet be wet and slippery, I bet. If you part two and part whale. If you part two and part. If you part two and part. If you part two and part. What, man?
And now, this latest update on the incredible reptile race.
After 6 hours, none of our 3 racers has yet to move anywhere. Can somebody call out for some pizza? I have a feeling this is going to be a long race.